officials were reinstated in that particular judgment. Now, many persons waited for the cities as certified true copy to say, let's hear, let's see the position. But it appears there were no categorical statements. But then, legal juggernauts, lawyers have been interpreting the cases in different forms to say maybe you can draw inference. Maybe if 6 things were being solved from the court and the court has granted 4, it means the other 2, automatically were granted, even though that was not read. But then we have with us this morning, just before I introduce my guest, the governor of the state over the weekend addressed a press conference, and he alleged that his predecessor, Alleges Gboyega Oyetola, who is now a minister, is using the word of the governor, spearheading, some individuals to cause chaos in the state, and he has compromised some security agencies that, the APC, in their plans to say they are taking over those local government secretariats today because they have been, served justice by the court. And the governor is saying, in fact, he called out the president, President Tinubu, to say, please warn your relative. In fact, the word he used, let me just say it in the words of Mr. Governor, to say, gentlemen of the press, I call this press conference to alert the national and global audience about the deliberate plot to create chaos and anarchy in the state. These are categorical words. I invite you all to expose a fascist, strong words again, anti-democratic agenda designed to enforce a non-existing court judgment on our local government. This evil plot is being spearheaded by the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Mr. Gboyega Oyetola, in active collaboration with the Osun State Commissioner of Police, the Osun State Director of DSS, and the State Commandant of the Civil Defense Corps. He reeled out names, and he was so emphatic. Before I continue this address, let me affirm that I know Mr. President to be a true Democrat, a lover of rule of law, and a believer in the sanctity of the judicial process. I know, as a matter of fact, that Mr. President will never authorize a dictatorial violation of the Constitution, irrespective of who is involved. It is crucial to her that Mr. President will never support any action that is capable of generating bloodbath and bloodshed. I, however, regret to inform Mr. President and the public that Mr. Gboyega Oyetola has concluded an arrangement to cause mayhem in Osun State starting from Monday, that is today. He is issuing illegal directives to security operatives to enforce illegality simply because he's the nephew of Mr. President. I chose to alert the nation before my people are killed or maimed by minister dropping the name of Mr. President in connivance with the Osun State security operatives obeying unlawful orders, and many things were said as well. But then, because of time, I have with us today the Senior Special Assistant, SSA, on Legal to Governor Ademola Adeleke, Barrister Michael Nwore. He's with me in the studio. Good morning, Barrister.
Good morning, sir. Thank you, Mr. Ojo. Good morning, Nigerians.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
Now, before we get to the press conference of Mr. Governor, let's take it back because that is where the argument is started from. Okay. The judgment of February 10. Did he restate the local government chairman or not? What is the position of Milos on this matter?
All right. Thank you so much. And I want us to be quick. All right.
Because I know you have a busy day.
Thank you so much. I appreciate. You see, a lot of people have been interpreting this judgment to suit their own selfish interests. Selfish interests. Because every lawyer, everybody that understands what the law says, that has had opportunity of reading the judgment of February 10, would understand that my lords at the appellate court never even delved into the merit of the matter. If, I don't know if you allow me to go backwards to
can do that quickly.
Read the history of this case. After the governorship election of 2022 was conducted and lost by the former Governor Gboyega Oyetola, they hurriedly made arrangements to conduct a local government election. Now, the Electoral Act stipulates that before you conduct a local government election, that you must give an election notice of 360 days. Now, in their hurriedly amended OSEC law of Osun State 2022, they provided for 360 days in the electoral law of Osun State. But instead of allowing that 360 days, they gave two months notice. That is 60 days notice in violation of the Osun State electoral law of 2022 and the electoral acts of 2022. Now they went ahead to conduct the election. Before they gave notice of election, they had already addressed a press conference and telling the Osun people that were going to conduct election. That was when PDP went to court before the notice for election was published. PDP then was in no position, though they have won election, but they have not been sworn in.
Taking over power.
Yes, taking over power. So the PDP filed the originating summons at the Federal High Court, challenging the purported arrangement to conduct an election just 2 months before leaving office. While the case was ongoing, the APC and OSEC, then as it were, filed a notice of preliminary objection challenging the suit on the ground that the suit, as it were, disclosed no cause of action. According to them, there was no notice of election as at that time. There was nothing already done by OSEC suggesting that they had taken steps except a press conference. When they filed a notice of preliminary objection, the PDP now, in a way to salvage the case, now came by way of amendment. As at that time, notice of election had already been issued. They now applied to the court, Federal High Court, to allow them to amend the originating summons to come in line with the present happening, that is the issuance of the notice of election.
Right.
They challenged it, but the court granted the application, and the PDP was allowed to amend. Now, as the case of PDP was going on, APP, which is one of the registered political parties in Nigeria, and was also present in Osun State, supposed to take part in that election, they also went to court. That if that election is allowed to go on, there will be shortchanged, because the time to prepare will not be there. Because for them to submit the names of candidates, the law says they should be given 180 days, and all other provisions like that. They went to court. As at that time, a notice of election had been issued. So in their own case, they had a course of action. Now, there was no preliminary objection on their own. The two cases progressed until judgment. The judgment in the case of PDP nullified the notice of election, set aside the election, and sacked all the local government chairmen in all the local government and the area council that the election was conducted, including the councillors. Now, they went on appeal to the Court of Appeal. Secondly, the APP case also progressed to judgment, and the same fate befell APC. The notice of election was nullified. The election itself was set aside, and the local government chairman elected, the councillors elected, were also sacked. Those two cases were appealed by APC. Now, earlier in the year, the appeal against the election of the judgment of APP was found to have been abandoned by APC at the Court of Appeal. In fact, on the particular day that it was dismissed, on the 13th day of January 2025, a counsel to APC appeared in court and informed Milords at the appellate court that he had not seen his client, that is APC, since 2022 that they lost election. Now, the counsel to PDP, APP and other parties applied for the striking out of the case. And at the stage where the case was, the Court of Appeal, Milords in their wisdom dismissed the appeal. That rested that, which means that the judgment of the Federal High Court in APP versus APC is still subsisting, is still valid. Now, the other appeal against the PDP judgment was still pending at the Court of Appeal, and the judgment of which was delivered on the 10th of February 2025, which you just asked me now. Now, in determining that appeal, the Court of Appeal, the appellant, the APC, raised some issues for determination. The issues they raised were 4 in number. Now, the first one was for the Court of Appeal to determine as to whether the time PDP filed the originating summons, whether there was a cause of action as at that time. And if there was no cause of action, that the Court of Appeal should resolve the issue in their favor and strike out the appeal, I mean the suit. The number 2 issue was as to whether the amendment granted by Milord at the lower court, that is the Federal High Court, was correct in law. Having seen that the originating summons itself disclosed no cause of action, and the Court of Appeal found that in their favor and held that since there was no cause of action disclosed in the originating summons, it means it was incompetent, and the court below was wrong to have allowed amendment in an incompetent suit. And Milord at the appellate court also resolved that issue in favor of APC and struck out the suit as was filed at the Federal High Court, Osogbo. Struck out the suit. Milord went ahead to say that having resolved issues 1 and to an extension issue 2, which has already terminated the suit itself,
Right.
that there was no need going into issue 3 and issue 4, which was to the merit of the case, that it has become an academic exercise. When the main case was struck out, everything
Milord
contains in it.
Milord mentioned that use the word as an academic exercise.
Yes. In fact, with me, I have the certified true copy of that particular judgment. And for the interest of the public, if you may allow me to go into it and read that particular paragraph as...
Please, quickly.
Thank you. Now, in paragraph 53 of the certified true copy of the judgment of 10th February 2025, the second to the last paragraph, I read as follows.
Yes.
This is the exact words of Milord at the Court of Appeal. The lower court was clearly wrong in granting leave to amend an incompetent originating summon in such circumstances as the summon sought to be amended did not disclose any cause of action. The exercise of discretion by the lower court was wrongfully made, and it is liable to be set aside. Issues 1 and by extension issue 2 formulated by the appellant, that is APC, succeed, and they are resolved in their favor and against the respondents. The last paragraph. Now, since it is the position of these courts that there is no valid originating process to confer jurisdiction on the lower court to hear and determine the claim of the first respondent, there is no point in considering the remaining issues. A consideration of the 2 remaining issues has now become an academic exercise, which this court is not prepared to venture into. They went ahead to say, in the circumstance with the resolution of the 2 issues in favor of the appellant, it follows that this appeal is meritorious and it is accordingly allowed. The amended originating summons is hereby struck out for incompetence. Consequently, suit number FHC/OS/CS/94/2022 be and is hereby struck out. Now, I want you to understand the reason why the Court of Appeal quoted the suit number is because it is relating to the originating summons filed at the Federal High Court, Osogbo. That is, the order they made relates to the lower courts. What the lower court should have done. That's why they quoted the suit number FHC/OS/CS/94 is hereby struck out. It means that from the beginning, that case disclosed no cause of action. And having resolved the issue in the positive in favor of APC, the suit was struck out.
All right, Barrister, because of time, thank you for that elaborate, background. But now, it will appear like everybody is just drawing inference. Milords were not categorical on especially the prayer of reinstatement on this matter. Either, oh, you guys remain sacked, or, oh, you have been given the leeway. It will appear to me and to many laymen who are not learned like yourself, legally speaking, to say you only relied on that part that say, okay, based on this and this that have been granted, and this particular one, It's an academic exercise, so there is no reason for us to continue with this particular thing, but there was nothing categorical about it to say they have been restated or not. The APC has made their position to say they have the way. What do you think? I know you don't brief for them, but what do you think they are relying on for them to have that audacity to say the ruling is in their favor?
Well, the audacity is out of ignorance. Ignorance. And would I say just trying to deceive the public? Because I know there are a lot of lawyers amongst them. Even the lawyer that took this case to court knows the truth. They know the truth, because this judgment, as it were, never delved into the merits of the appeal. Never delved into the merit of the case, as it were, at the Federal High Court. Because, just like I said earlier, if the Federal High Court has struck out this matter from when the case was before the Federal High Court for not disclosing any cause of action, there wouldn't have been any need to even consider whether the election was properly conducted or not. Now, the Federal High Court did what the Court of Appeal did what the Federal High Court did not do by striking out the case. Now, it would have been a different thing if the case of PDP was the only case that was filed against APC and the election conducted. Assuming that the case of PDP was the only one and it was struck out, I would have agreed with them that the coast is clear for them to return to office. But we all know, the public knows, that APP's case, which also nullified the election, upon which APC appealed against, and upon which they abandoned and was dismissed, is still valid and subsisting. There is no way they can return to office, looking at the fact that that judgment is still valid and subsisting. It has not been set aside. We agree that the judgment regarding the PDP was struck out for not disclosing any cause of action. Though the PDP still have the right of appeal, there are still grounds of appeal to the Supreme Court. But before the Supreme Court determines otherwise, the judgment of the Court of Appeal is the law as it is now. But what about the judgment of the APP, which nullified the notice of election as improperly issued, which nullified the conduct of the election, which sacked the chairmen and councillors of all the local governments in which election was conducted into? Now, APC did not raise a notice of preliminary objection at the Federal High Court. The judgment, and that was the reason why they left office, because they knew that the judgment of the Federal High Court was not in their favor. That's why they left office. Nobody, it was the judgment that chased them, all of them, out of the office. They went to the Court of Appeal. If they want to continue to be law abiding, they should pursue this case until logical conclusion. They will still have the Supreme Court. They can appeal the dismissal of their appeal from the Court of Appeal to the Supreme Court. Let the Supreme Court determine whether the Court of Appeal was right or wrong in dismissing the appeal. When they were in court personally to tell the court that their clients, APC, they had not seen them since 2022. But remember that the same court was handling both the appeal of PDP and the appeal of APC, and they were going on at the same time. APC that they have not seen since 2022 in the case of APP, they are seeing them in the case of PDP, because they knew that because of the non-disclosure of cause of action in the case of PDP, they had a stronger case there than that of APP, because that one complied. They filed the case when the notice of election had been issued, and they had nothing to defend themselves in the case of APP. And that's the reason why they abandoned it. Okay.
Now, with what we have, because let me ask you, legally speaking, as been to our, the legal profession, the proceedings of the court, the law itself, we have cases of antecedents and precedents and all of these things that, for the benefit of proper jurisprudence in Nigeria, many persons have been pointing accusing fingers at Milords at the court that possibly if they have been more categorical on this matter, maybe this argument and controversy will have been needless. Do you think Milords in their wisdom could have done better by being categorical, or according to precedents, this is the wisdom?
To be frank with you, Milords were categorical as to the case, to the appeal before them. All the lawyers that practice law would understand and agree with me that Milords were categorical.
In what way?
In the sense that
they were silent on that prayer of reinstatement.
They will be silent because going into that prayer will mean going into the merit of the case. And when there is a case and when the case is pending in court, and a party to the case files a notice of preliminary objection, the court will not go into the merit of the case until the notice of the preliminary objection is determined in one way or the other. The preliminary objection can, if it is determined in favor of the applicant, can end that case. That is the merit of the preliminary objection brought by the applicant. And if otherwise the preliminary objection is dismissed, then the coast is clear for Milords to go into the merit of the case. It's like there is a barricade. You're moving on the way and there's a barricade on the road. What do? You stop and remove the barricade before you continue. But if you're unable to remove the barricade because the barricade means that you should stop there, then you stop there. That's what Milords at the Court of Appeal did. The issues raised by the APC, there are 4 issues like I said. 2 of them, the first 2, deals with preliminary issues, which if it is determined in favor of APC, will terminate the case at that particular point. That is the barricade now. But if it was resolved against APC, then Milords will still go in to consider the merit of the case. That is when the categorical statement you're referring to would come out. But because the preliminary objection issues that were raised in issue 1 and 2 succeeded against the PDP and in favor of APC, then that barricade will not allow Milords to go into the merit. And the categorical statement is that this suit number FHC/OS/CS/94/2022 be and is hereby struck out. And if it is struck out, those other issues that are contained in the main case goes with that suit. So that is the categorical statement. That suit is struck out, and everything that came with that suit has been thrown into the dustbin.
Let's now, because of time, move to the World Press Conference we have been rolling on our screens, done by the governor and some cabinet members yesterday, and which the governor was so, the use of strong words, in that particular conference, and that he alleged that his predecessor, Governor Oyetola, is spearheading chaos in the state, and he has given instructions to security agencies, and that the APC are planning to take over local government this morning against, according to him, the dictate of the court. One would say, was that really necessary, or was it that the governor and the cabinet members are jittery, on this matter, or is just being proactive about the protection of his people? Because one would say he's the chief security officer of that state. Why does it look like he's calling for help? Does it look that way to you?
Thank you.
Before we go there, sorry, I'd like to remember, in this case at all, the Nigeria police, the NSCDC, the security agencies, were they part of either appellant or plaintiff or defendant in this matter? Was there anything addressed to them in this CTC?
All right. Thank you so much. Now, taking your last question first, in this judgment, the security agencies were not parties. They are not parties, and nothing concerns them. And in fact, their role is to maintain peace and order in the society. Now, I want you to understand that a few days ago, there was a kind of a rally or so, mini rally or so to say, by the former governor of Osun State with his supporters, where he addressed his supporters in Tinubu Shetima campaign office here in Osogbo. He was caught on camera telling his supporters to brace up, that from today they are going to take over the local government. Now, that statement cannot be taken lightly by anybody who desires peace in Osun, especially the chief security officer of the state, the governor. And I want you to also understand, I want the general public to understand that the governor, even though as the chief security officer of the state, does not control the security apparatus. It's only by name. The commissioner of police is under the command of the inspector general of police, who is appointed by the president. The president, who happened to be a cousin of the former Governor Gboyega Oyetola. The same thing with the director general of the director of DSS in Osun State. The same thing with the commandant of NSCDC in Osun State. Right. So we have had rumors. Of course, you know that the governor had intelligent information. You know that those security agencies has been given directive by the Oyetola, the Gboyega Oyetola, who is allegedly acting from his connection from Abuja, that the security agencies will shield his supporters to go and take over. Does he have the power to command or to instruct security agencies? Constitutionally speaking, he doesn't have the power. But we know the politics that is being played in Nigeria. So why do you think the security agencies will pan to his instruction? Because, of course, you and I, we are in Nigeria. Are you not pre-suggesting possibly what is not there, or possibly the state government is just paranoid? Like I told you, the governor has intelligent information that the security apparatus has been compromised. He came from Abuja, dropping the name of the president, that the president said, and of course, these people want to protect their job. They wouldn't want anything that will anger the president and would readily dance to the tune. And that's the reason why the governor had to raise alarm and call on the president and the world to see what the former governor is trying to do to cause chaos in Osun State. You understand that Osun State is one of the most peaceful states in the country. There are a lot of organizations that have rated Osun State as the most peaceful state in Nigeria. Now, with this thing now, you can see all that has been happening in recent days now. Preparatory to taking over the local government. It is because of that NLC has even issued a notice to their members to withdraw their services from the local government. It is the same issue that the NOGE, the Association of the Local Government Employees, also issued a notice for their members at the local government to withdraw their services for fear of their lives. That is because of what Gboyega Oyetola and his members, the press release they released the other day. Yeah, but don't worry, your principal, the governor, in that statement, with everything that I said, why he spoke on the matter, and even on his ex-handle and the cabinet members and all of these things, he, as the chief security officer of the state, has he sought audience with the commissioner of police to say, this is what I'm hearing. What's your position on this matter? Okay. Wouldn't that be the proper thing to do? Thank you so much. That we have already done. Okay. The governor, through the attorney general, officially wrote the commissioner of police and explained the case from the Federal High Court to the Court of Appeal, attaching the two judgments from the High Court, the two judgments from the Court of Appeal. There are two judgments from the Court of Appeal. The other one is a dismissal of APP case against APC, and the judgment of February 10. He attached the four judgments and served on the commissioner of police, served on the commandant of NSCDC, served on the director of SSS, and all other relevant agencies. They were all served. Now, aside that, the governor also personally briefed the security agencies one-on-one. So, but few days ago, things changed. How do you mean things changed? The information available to His Excellency is that the APC has planned with the Commissioner of Police Osun State, even with the Central Bank of Nigeria. It's laughable anyway, that they should withhold the allocation coming to the local government, that the Commissioner of Police Osun State will lead APC people, the chairmen, the yes or no chairmen and the councillors to go and take over the local government. So what's the position of the CBN on this matter? Well, because it is the CBN, through the CBN, that the allocation of the local government councils is paid directly to them.
Is it supposed to have been paid by now? The allocation either for January or for February is not due for payment, or is it due for payment?
That is to show you the level of politics that APC is engaging.
You know how to ask you that, because the governor could easily have called for a security council meeting and say, you know, because he would normally do that, possibly monthly, or I don't know how often they sit, to say, this is the situation of this matter. This is the position of the law. Guys and officers, gentlemen and ladies, we have a duty to protect our people. How do we handle this matter? Shouldn't that have been the proper way to handle it?
I told you
because
earlier.
we're talking about the security, the crux of the matter, as the governor spoke at that World Pro Conference, is he doesn't want any harm to befall his people. So we are talking about security of lives and property. That should be a function of the Security Council meeting.
I agree with you. I told you earlier that the governor, aside the letter written by the Attorney General to all these heads of security agencies, that the governor also met with all of them. That is the Security Council meeting. But the thing is, the governor has to let the whole world know that what the former governor is orchestrating.
What was the response of those security chiefs to the situation on ground?
Of course, they assured His Excellency that they are going to do their job and make sure that they preserve lives and property of the citizens of Osun State. Okay. But I can tell you that they are all under chains of command.
Okay. All right.
If the Commandant General of NSCDC issues a command from Abuja to the Commandant NSCDC Osun State, he has no option than to obey.
All right. You know, for balancing, we extended, you know, the program, the conversation to the other part, that's the All Progressives Congress. And I hear now that we have one of the honorable commissioners that served under Governor Gboyega Oyetola, of course, in the government of the APC, with us right now, Honorable Ademola Adeleke, popularly known as Banik. He was Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs. Good morning, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning to you. Actually, I think when you started, I had your people saying, Mr. Governor,
Honorable Adeleke, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
All right, quickly, so that we pick it up and our people can really get a hang. The governor gave a press conference yesterday, and he has alleged your principal, Governor Oyetola, of planning chaos in the state, that you are going against the law and you are planning to take over local government back, that the court has not given you the order to do that. The question is, why is that so? Why are you planning chaos?
Whoever say that in Upad, that is a mistake. They do not understand. The Court of Appeal has ruled that the local elected government of Oyetola return to the people. And I have said, Mr. Governor has written to security agents to protect life and property. But Mr. Governor as well, it's his duty to protect us, because we are legally resuming. We had resumed and thereby ask our chairman to leave office on assumption that Adeleke based his decision on the platform was the chairman leave office. And as a law about, as you know, APC and Adida always follow the rule. We did not fight. We did not threaten anybody. We didn't say none of the people the council. We went to court of, and at the court of, a judgment was that the decision of the law was struck out, and we made in our appeal. These prayers were allowed. And I want to say this: tell the person that is there to go to page 50 of the city of the judgment from the Court of Appeal. The lead judge, read by the lead judge, it says in the last paragraph, in the circumstance with the resolution it is in favor of the applicant, remember it, appellant. It follows that it is meritorious and it is accordingly allowed. Consequently, suit number 8 for the suit lower court and is advised to. What are we talking? Who is that lawyer that is turning? They are interpreting their purpose. There were 3 judges. That is the statement of the legal. The second judge, Justice Isaiah, he said, I have read the judge.
All right. All right. We'll try and establish connection. Quite very.
Are you there with me?
All right. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes. The second judge, Justice Olufemi, also, and I read, I have read of my brother, Abubakar Muhammad, and I agree with this thing and conclusion that the appeal act made. That means the appeal of APC aspect. I allowed the appeal and abide by the order. The third judge also wrote, I too allowed appeal and set aside this an order of the lower court. Which lower court are we? The High Court in Osogbo, of which the relied on it. He further said, I abide by the sequential order in judgment. Now we're talking it. And they are not talking. He did not say that chairmen and candidates. That is not them. The person in your lawyer. That is not how it's done.
All right. Honorable, are you with me? All right. The question I would have wanted to ask the Honorable is, was there...
Are you there?
Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
All right. Please hold on. Please hold on, sir. Let me just ask the question because it's a busy day for everybody. And I know you just have to squeeze your time. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Now, Osun people, some minds that are not legal, well, I've been asking this question. Are you going by inference from that particular court judgment, or was there anything categorical in the statement of Milos in that appeal to say the sacked local government chairmen are being reinstated? Is there any part like that in the CTC?
That is where I'm going. Thank you very much. Now, when you go to appeal, you seek something. Why do I go to appeal? I want you to, for me, I want you to strike out it at the lower court. I want you to allow me. Let me now tell you if that we thought. We thought like, but I'm making reference to them. Relief number D. We said we thought relief for order, setting aside and nullifying the judgment of the lower court out on the 20th December 2020. And the judge treated them unanimously appeal allowed. We sought the relief for an order. This is number 8, so and so. That was the suit at the lower court. Them said appeal allowed. And lastly, number G, an order restoring the appellant, who are the appellant, chairmen and the council, back into their offices, having been duly elected by the citizens of Osun State. My brother, they nowhere in when they gave us the judgment that is made of a delicate today, Supreme Court judgment. I want to read that, making reference to page 32 of it of that judgment. This is what they say. In the light, the above established, I do not. It's useful that he remain. He went for that to uphold his appeal failed. The appeal of APC failed, and the tax made. It is accordingly. Show me where it was Governor Adeleke to go and resume job. What are we talking about? Don't let us turn to their academic. The governor should not do it in a state. Let them go and instead of execution or the appeal. They should not disturb the peace of the. It is the governor and these people that planning to destroy. Our people are in office. They are soon from local government aside. In Boripe local government, our people are resumed. And PDP said talks. So those talks are arrested and they are waiting for the police.
All right, sir.
DPO to come and get them.
All
because
right,
they came with a very.
All right, so, Honorable. Yeah, so it's safe to say.
If there is loss of life property, Governor Adeleke is the most responsible because it's the number one security officer and it should tell police to protect them.
All right.
They should put this people.
Fair enough.
When we lost,
yes.
When we lost,
if I may, sir. Yes, if I may.
We lost attack. We went to.
All right. Two or three questions, and I'll allow you to go, Honorable. First is this. Now, it's safe to say that as APC are going by inference on this matter, one would say the sacked local government chairman, because when the election was held, it held in substantive local government and it held in LCDAs as well, which has some local government officials as well. Now, in this case, with the Supreme Court's judgment on autonomy, there will be nothing like LCDAs again. If going by your action, because the APC have said they are going to take what belongs to them this morning, the local government chairman, we only have 30. What becomes of the others that were elected on the basis of the LCDA? Where will you put them?
You should know that the APC, we are more knowledgeable. As at now, we have resumed in 30 plus one local. In my local government, we have the main. They have resumed at the CCA. All of that will be effective and
Sorry, I didn't hear you well. You said as of now, as at this morning, the SAC local government have resumed secretariat.
Our chairman are resuming 30 plus one local.
What becomes of others?
Is recognized by INEC.
Okay.
They are not talking 8 to 69. So in the moment, leave that for other process.
The ones that were elected as chairman or FCDAs, we should leave it. You know how to handle it.
It is an process. Let us see all that we have done have been instated and we recognize for local government.
All right. Won't that
stop
sorry, Honorable Sir.
We are not taking. We have been there. We were sacked and now we are back.
All right. Won't that give credence? Yes, sir. Won't that give credence to what people have been saying, that the court was silent on that matter? Now, the court didn't say the 67 of them should go back. Now you say you can manage with 30 and it's your affairs. You know how to undo the rest. But wouldn't that be illegal?
Let me answer. If the court recognizes us tonight, we repeat it when they came in. When they came in, the administrators, they were not elected, they put them in the 69. So now that the law of Nigeria is only 30,
yes,
we are going with that because they were elected as well. Let them know, but
all right. Quick one, sir. The governor gave a press conference where he alleged your principal of spearheading chaos in the state and that he has compromised the security architecture of the state to do that. And many residents of Osun, school pupils, students, in fact, NOGE, NLC has informed their members to say, don't go close to local government today. Are you sure it's worth it for the APC now? Are you sure it's worth it? If chaos happened today and there are injuries and there are, fatalities will it be worth the ambition of local government SAC chairman if anybody is to be affected in this state today? Will you bear the brunt?
If an armed robber beat your wife and stole all your property, you got him arrested, and the court say, go back to your, this man will be jailed, and they ask him to pay compensation. Will you, because of that, not going? Because you think in your area, if the duty of the governor, ask him, does he want, instead of him to pay the rule of law and take part of civility, does he want it high power?
All right.
Accuse. Let me tell you, does it mean that our governor or the minister of Marine
yes
said when Governor Adeleke was made governor, he got governorship to order of the court? We didn't make any problem. Was Oyetola not alive then? When he issued all these executive orders that our orders, did we make any problem? You people should tell Adeleke to obey the rule of law. Forget about, because I can get.
All right.
You are not saying them how.
Honorable sir, yeah, I have the senior special assistant to the governor on legal matters here with us in the studio, and he has been hearing what you have been saying. I'd like to ask him as well. Honorable Banika said it is the duty of your principal to provide security for even them that they are planning to take over what belongs to them. What will you say?
It's laughable anyway. It's laughable that Honorable Banik, who we know, he has been, this Honorable Banik has been on the run for a very long time. We have serious charges against being on the run. He's the one that is saying that His Excellency should provide security for those that want to orchestrate chaos in the state that has been peaceful. I wonder how some people like this that has occupied the positions of authority that should be a role model to younger generation would want to, sound as if everything is about them and them alone. How does he expect that, okay, assuming you got a judgment from the court, what are you supposed to do? You go to the relevant, you go to the court, there's what we call execution of judgment. If you think that the judgment is in your favor, you go back to the court, file necessary application, and the sheriff of the court, with the aid of the police, will execute. It's not for you to take law in your hands and expect His Excellency to provide security while you're committing crime. I wonder how he's reasoning. He's an elderly man.
You are calling whatever they want to do this morning a crime.
A crime.
How is it a crime?
It's a crime because there is nowhere in this judgment that they say they should resume. He read the judgment. I know that he is with this particular judgment. He read it and he said a consequential order. What is the consequential order made by Milord? The only consequential order made is the award of 250,000 naira costs. There is no other consequential order, which there is a lead judgment. May other judges that concord with the judgment say they abide by the consequential order. That consequential order is an order of 250,000 naira cost. There is no order. Now, assuming without conceding that the Court of Appeal has struck out the case of PDP in suit number FH6 blah 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 blah, it means that there was no case, there was no judgment. Now, what about the APC-APP judgment that sacked them, nullified the notice of election, nullified the kangaroo yes or no election, and the chairman and councillors? Why are they not talking about it? But it's a judgment, a valid judgment of the court.
What he's saying is your principal is the man in charge right now.
Yes.
And whatever happens in the state, he holds it a duty to provide security for everybody. You are saying that will be criminal.
He has been providing security to every, including you that's sitting here, because if there is no security, you will not even come to work. You agree with me? Now, some people have orchestrated a plan to thwart the peaceful coexistence of the people of the state, that has made people to withdraw their services from the local government areas, and he said that the governor should provide security for them to go and carry unlawful act. That is a crime. I would want him to hear me this, that if that happens, there are three things that will happen to them. They will be charged for inciting the public. They will be charged for contempt of court. They know what it means, and they will also be charged for disturbing the peace of the society. It's a criminal offense.
Yes.
Did you hear him? You said his principal should provide security. He's saying his principal cannot be providing security for crime. That whatever you are planning to do this morning is a crime. Do you agree? Oh, we're having issues with connection. Honorable Adeleke, if you can hear me.
I do not know. I can hear you.
Please go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
I do know when the mention of the lawful judge may become a crime. It is a lawyer.
Who is executing the judgment? Who is executing the judgment? Is it within the purview of your party to execute the judgment, or the relevant court officials that has been given the power by the law, the Sheriffs and Civil Processes Act?
Let him answer this.
The judgment as your principal to become the governor. Who executed it? Is it not the security agency that gave your governor?
The judgment was not executory. I want you to understand, Mr. Banik. The judgment, INEC declared my principal, His Excellency the winner. He was sworn into office, and you went to court.
Let him answer.
You know, you are only clear. Honestly speaking, this one is not work for. Nobody is doing reality. You are saying we should get an order of it. Which order of execution get? When Supreme Court said you are the governor. Which order of execution? You are the one to get either a stay of it or you appeal to the Supreme Court. Don't cause chaos. You cannot eat and have it.
Honorable Banik, sir. Yeah.
I had you say on the train of that. You have anything? Please go ahead. Everybody is.
Let me ask you. Honorable Adeleke, do you have the do you have the support of the security agencies on this venture you are about to do this morning?
We don't have to come.
Sorry, can you please repeat? Oh Lord. If you can hear me, Honorable sir. Did you hear my question? I said, do you have the support and the backing of the security agencies on this venture of yours today? Oh, mercy.
It's not venture of ours. It's of the court.
Okay.
And they have been coming, governor, to pay the rule.
Yes, before I let you go. Yes, before I let you go, the governor alleged that is your principal Oyetola that is spearheading this particular one. Is that a yes?
It's not only clarify. For the first time, the governor knows that he's not doing the right thing. He only looking.
So Oyetola is not behind this. Honorable Adeleke, you are saying Governor Oyetola is not behind this.
We are citizens of Osun. A governor, some people agree, then I will not.
All right. And all right. You know, the Osun people will say, whatever happens today, let there be peace in the state. Nobody, just like Goodluck Jonathan said, he said, nobody's ambition is worth the blood of another person. And we hope it stays that way. We want to sadly thank you, Honorable Adeleke Adebayo, you know, former commissioner under Governor Oyetola, for your time and your take. All right. Yes, I'll take your part in short. I'm so sorry. I've taken your time.
It's okay. It's
but
okay.
Then you've had him to say it is the duty of the governor to provide security for everybody. I asked him, it's the venture of theirs, and that they are going to take today. Do they have the security of the support of the security agencies? He says it's not the venture of theirs; it's the venture of the law.
You see what I'm saying?
He's talking about law.
Now, how can you execute a judgment?
And I take that as your parting shot.
Yes. How can you execute a court judgment with a self-help?
You call this a self-help?
A self-help.
He has given you the ground.
He said, let me tell you something. Before you execute a judgment, if the judgment is executory, you file a writ of execution. Before the court that delivered the judgment, the judge will sign it. The sheriff of the court, like the police of the court, who is the one that will execute. Now write the police operatives for protection. They will go and execute the judgment, not for them. Okay, yeah, you have heard him say it's operation of law there. They don't have to even involve the security agencies. They will go and cause chaos in the local government. He
didn't call it chaos. He said they are going to take over.
He will not. Okay, what does it mean? When people are there, constitutionally allowed to be there, and you're going to forcefully.
But there are no elected chairpersons currently at the local government in Osun State currently.
That doesn't mean that anybody can wake up and call himself chairman to go and occupy, because there's election is holding this Saturday.
So whatever the APC are planning to do today is illegal or illegal?
It is totally illegal. Okay. And I've already told him that the law will catch them. We are going to arrest them and charge them to court.
But your principal has a duty to protect everybody.
Everybody, but when you run foul of the law, the law will not protect you.
I've had persons, parents show concern this morning, even as I'm here, to say what becomes of our children that are already on their way to school, what because of teachers, what because of the people. What will you say to them?
Now, His Excellency has...
Especially those younger ones that they don't know what is going on.
His Excellency has given a marching order to the security agency to make sure that all these places are protected.
Okay.
Are you getting me? Including the local government areas. The APC, I know they are not going to the schools. It is only the local government where they say the court asks them to go and take over, where I've not even seen the order. That is the only place that there may be skirmishes. But I assure them that they will not go scot-free.
Okay, all right. And we have been speaking with Barrister Michael Ungworie. He is the SSA on legal matters to Governor Adeleke. Thank you for your time and your take today.
Thank you so much.
And we hope everything remains peaceful. Whatever the political ambitions are, Nigerians and Osun residents just want to have a good day. Let everybody go about their business.
Yes, exactly.
And let politicians do whatever they do within the confines of the law. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
By the way, we'll be reaching out to you as often as possible on this matter. And we spoke earlier to Honorable Ademola Adeleke as well. It was Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs of that Governor Oyetola, and you heard him say whatever they are doing is within the law as well, and they have a duty to take what belongs to them. May now Osun prosper, may Nigeria prosper. You can have we sincerely apologize for that poor audio. We will have stopped it, but for fairness, we just had to take it for balancing on both sides, as we usually do here, where we say it as it is. Femi Ojo is my name. You can have a recap of this wonderful program on our YouTube channel at Western Spring TV. You have the address scrolling, and also on our various social media handles on Facebook, on Instagram, and on X as well. Just like I said earlier, may Osun prosper, may Nigeria prosper. Femi Ojo is my name. I'll make a return tomorrow morning. And big shout out to the production team that has worked with me for today. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be careful, be watchful, but be hopeful. Bye.